Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, BK World TV. Today we will be continuing on the Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series from DeAgostini, Japan. This is for Pack 25, stages 95 through 98. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Happy holidays. I think we're just coming out of Christmas and heading down into the New Year's holiday. So happy early New Year, as I'm recording this video prior to New Year's. But anyways, as you can see, we will be continuing on the Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series. This is for Pack 25, stages 95 through 98. This is from DeAgostini, Japan. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started on Pack 25. But before we get started on the build, as usual, we'll take a quick peek at the contents of the magazine. So let's take a look at the magazine. So as you can see, we have the magazine for Pack 25 here. And then if we skip over the build contents, or the build stage steps here, we'll take a look at the episode guide as usual. So first off is from Season 5, Episode 25. It's the Inner Light. I think this is one of the most interesting episode, I would say. I think Picard relives the life of another person. I think, and he has a little bit of a whistle or a flute that he gets at the end, I think from a probe. But yeah, very interesting episode. I do like that. And then moving on to episode 26, which is Time's Arrow. This is when the crew goes back into the 19th century Earth, and I think San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyways, another great episode. As well, you can see some of the concept arts that the aliens, that the aliens were using. And then they talk about Season 6 in here. And then I think this is when Deep Space Nine series started. So the pilot episode with Avery Brooks as Commander Sisko. I think they had him starting on the bridge a little bit, talking about on the bridge a little bit. But in Season 6, Episode 1, it's the continuation of Time's Arrow, Part 2. Another interesting two-part episode for Time's Arrow. And then moving on is Episode 2, Realm of Fear. This is Lieutenant Barclay. I think he thinks he has transport psychosis. I do like the episodes with Lieutenant Barclay in it. Always a little fun episode. And then I think that's the last episode in this book, which is Episode 3, Man of the People. And then you can see some of the concept arts of the storage box there as well. And yeah, that's just a quick review of the episode guide in the magazine for Pack 25. So let's go ahead and get started on the build. So in stage 95, we'll be assembling another piece of the deck panel for the bottom side of the or the underside of the saucer section. So let's get started. So first off, as you can see, we have this metal deck panel piece here. So we'll be adding 3 of the escape pod hatches and 4 of the window pieces here. So we'll go ahead and get those pieces installed and fitted first. So we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the escape pod hatches and windows installed. So next, what we'll be doing is we'll be adding the brackets for it. So this larger bracket piece here, it's going to fit right onto the 2 escape pod hatches there. Then this one piece bracket is going to fit right on the other escape pod hatch there. Then we'll be securing that into place with 3 AM screws. So let's get those 2 brackets screwed in first. Just like that. And then next we'll be securing the window pieces here. So for the window piece, we'll be getting the smaller reflector bracket there. And again, we'll be securing that into place with 1 AM screw. So let's get that one screwed in. And just like that. As you can see, we now have the windows and escape pod hatches all secured. So next we'll be adding the ventral phaser array piece here. That's going to just sit right there on the bottom. And then we'll flip that over, and then from the other side, secure that into place with 2 DP screws. So let's get that one screwed in. Then as you can see, we now have this deck panel piece all assembled. So we'll set this one aside and then bring over the lower front panel of the battle section that we've been working on in the previous pack. So let's get that piece brought over. So as you can see here, we have this deck panel, lower deck panel piece for the battle section. And then what we'll be doing is we'll be first installing the one escape pod hatch onto it. So basically the escape pod hatch is going to be sitting right there with the red line going facing down away from the center. And then once we have that, we will then need to install this reflector panel here, which is going to go sit right just like that. But we also need to get our lighting cables installed as well. So for the lighting cable, the top side there, that's in the center, we're going to use the lighting cable that's left over from the center here from the other pack, just like that. And then there's one additional lighting cable that's included in this stage. So we'll be adding the white and the yellow wire bulb there onto the other end of the reflector panel, just like that. And then we will be securing this whole thing into place with 4 BP screws. So let's get that one screwed in. And just like that, so as you can see, we now have the lighting cable of the escape pod hatch and the reflector installed. So if you can see from the other side, also just like that. And then that is it for stage 95. In stage 96, we'll be working on another deck panel piece here, and then adding this deck panel as well as the deck panel we assembled in stage 95 onto the solder section. So let's get started. So first off, as you see, we have this plastic deck panel piece here with all the window openings. So we'll be installing the clear and blackened windows onto this piece first. So we'll go ahead and get those windows installed. So we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the all the windows installed. So next, what we'll be doing is we'll be installing the reflector pieces here. So the reflector piece with the little notch on the side is gonna go right there on the left, there, just like that. And then this larger piece is gonna go on the right side here. And then we'll be securing that into place with 1 AP screw each for now. We'll be placing that screw on the top there. So let's get that at least screwed in. So as you can see, we now have 1 AP screw on each of the reflector panels that's secured at least at the top. And then next, we'll be bringing over the saucer section and then installing some of the additional lighting cables. So let's get going on that. So as you can see, we have the saucer section here, and then we'll be feeding the lighting cable through both of them that's included in the stage right through the center here. And then we'll be attaching it to the board, the second board here in the middle row, in the next 2 openings. So let's go ahead and get that one connected, just like that. And then we'll be separating the wirings. So the yellow and black wiring, it will be going on the right side here, and then the red and blue wires for each one, each set will be going on the left side. So let's get that going, just like that. And then we'll be bringing over the deck panel base that we created earlier. And then basically we'll be attaching the lighting cable to the bottom and then securing the rest of the reflector panels here. So let's get that one going. So as you can see, we now have the this deck panel piece with the lighting cables attached and the reflector panels all screwed in. So next we'll be bringing over the metal deck panel piece that we created in the previous stage. And then we will be plugging this or setting that right in just like that at the top. And then we'll be connecting the lighting cables here as well. So let's get that one going, and then we'll be securing that onto the skeletal frame. And then as you can see, we now have the lighting connected and the deck panel piece fitted in. We'll be securing that to the skeletal frame with 3 FM screws. So let's get that screwed in. Just like that. So if we zoom in, you can see this piece here. Both of these deck panels are now installed onto the skeletal frame, the south section. So that is it for stage 96. In stage 97, we'll be setting up another deck panel for the outside, near the outside edge of the south section. At least that's where it will go. So let's get started. So first off, as you can see, we have this metal deck panel piece here. So we'll be attaching the escape pod hatches first. So we'll get that going. So we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the escape pod hatches put into place. So next we'll be attaching the bracket here. So for the bracket, it's basically this little piece that's gonna go and fit in only one direction, just like that. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AM screws. So let's go ahead and get that one screwed in, just like that. And then next we'll be bringing over the little edge piece here for the deck panel and for the south section. So we'll be placing that right there on the edge. So the longer piece of the curved part is going to be on the right side. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 IM screws. So let's get that one screwed in, just like that. So as you can see, we now have this deck piece all assembled. So next we'll bring over the south section to get that deck panel installed. So as you can see here, we'll be installing this deck panel piece right onto this slot here, just like that. So once it's all nice and snug, we'll be securing that into place with 2 FM screws. So let's get that screwed in, just like that. And then for the last part, we'll be attaching the escape pod screw cover for this part right there. So get that one seated in, just like that. So as you can see, we now have this deck panel piece here. So that is it for stage 97. In stage 98, or last stage for this pack, we'll be attaching the other deck panel piece onto the sausage section, as well as putting on the reflector panel, I think for the lower panel of the battle section as well. So let's get going. So first off, again, we'll be adding the escape pod hatches onto this metal deck panel piece here. So we'll get that going, so we'll be right back. So as you can see, we now have the escape pod hatches installed. So next we'll be installing the this little bracket piece for the escape pod hatches. It's gonna sit right on top of there. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 AM screws. So let's get that screwed in, just like that. And then next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the edge deck panel, which is this piece right here. So the yellow end is going to go onto the right side for this one, just like that. And then we'll be securing that into place with 2 IM screws. So let's get that screwed in as well. And just like that, we now have this deck panel all assembled. So we'll be attaching this over to the south section. So let's bring our south section here. So we'll be installing this deck panel piece right into this spot here. So let's get this nice and fitted. Just like that. And then we'll be securing this onto the skull frame with 2 FM screws. So let's get that screwed in. Just like that. And then again, we'll be covering that screw with these escape pod hatch screw cover here. So be seated in place like that. And then we'll go ahead and set the south section side, as that is done at least for this pack. And then next we'll bring over the bow section here, at least the lower part of it. And then basically we will be installing the windows for it. So we got this window piece, I think, earlier in this stage. So basically this will go right onto here, just like that. And then we will also be adding a escape pod hatch right through the middle there, right there. So we'll go ahead and get that one escape pod hatch fitted in as well, just like that. And then we will be getting this reflector panel, and then this is going to be basically sitting right on top. There, just like that. And then we're also going to get the lighting cable that's included in this stage. And then for the lighting cable, the red and black wire is going to go at least onto this side here. And then basically we need to slightly shift the wiring so it doesn't cover up the screw hole that's in the center. So if we zoom in just a little bit, the lighting will go straight, but then you have to bend it so it doesn't cover up that screw hole. And then for the lighting cable here, we'll be using the red and black wire from this wiring part. And that one will be seated right there, just like that. And then we will be securing this panel, reflector panel into place with 2 BP screws. That's going to go at least right onto these 2 screw holes there. Let's get that one secured. So just like that, we now have at least half of the reflector panel installed onto that piece. And then that is it for stage 98 and for pack 25. So as you can see in pack 25, we basically installed all the deck panels, at least in this part right here. And then also we added some of the window panels and the reflector, at least on this half as well. So it looks like we'll be continuing on putting maybe another deck panel piece for the battle section here as well, to get that completed, maybe in the future near future stages. But yeah, so far the south section is looking really nice. If we zoom in here, bring this over, it's getting really nice and also very large and heavy as well. Definitely has some weight, as I think a lot of the pieces are metal. But yeah, so far I'm satisfied. Have not had any issues with DeAgostini, at least here in Japan anyways. They're pretty reliable. I think I did the Agora models build for the 007. That Agora models had some issues with the backs, at least in Japan here. But DeAgostini Japan so far has been fine, no issues. So yeah, definitely looking forward to continuing on the Build the U.S.S. Enterprise D series. Hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, please don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. And have a nice holiday, rest of the holiday season, and Happy New Year. Bye.